So from 10 to 18 was awful. I was always so embarrassed to be around her. Couldn't stand her. Definitely didn't want to be in the car with her. It was really hard being a child and growing up with that. And I had a little sister who was 5 years younger than me. And my dad worked a lot, and everything got put on me. Laundry, dishes, dinner, I mean, you name it, I did it. So my childhood was a little bit taken away from 10 to 18. Mom ended up dying from her addiction led to her death. 2 weeks before she died, my last phone conversation with her, I told her how much I hated her and that she was embarrassing and I didn't want her at my graduation. And I hung up on her. And then 2 weeks later, I was camping with some friends up at Berryessa, and then in 2006, you could only get service like from AT&T. I think you could get like one bar, and if someone had an AT&T phone. So my friend that I was with wanted to call her boyfriend, and so she did, and then because she had found someone who had a phone with one bar of service, and then 20 minutes later, the guy comes looking for us, and he says, "Hey, whoever you called is on the phone. They need to talk to you." And she looked at me and she's like, "We gotta go. Your house is on fire." So I knew right then and there my mom was gone. We drove to the hospital and got there. There were probably 40 people outside waiting. And the next day, hold on. They went in to look for her during the fire. They couldn't find her. And then my friend was outside who lived in my neighborhood and was like, "No, her car is here. She's in there." And they ended up finding her in the closet under a pile of clothes. She was trying to run from the fire. She had gotten so messed up that she knocked over a candle next to the bed, and it lit the house on fire. So they pulled her out, resuscitated her, took her to the hospital. They ended up taking her to UC Davis burn unit. She had 40% burns. And we had 3 different doctors do the, what? Yeah, like to see if her brain was alive. They did 3 tests on that, and brain dead. She was gone. I knew she was gone. My dad knew she was gone. So that was really hard. I never dealt with it. I dealt with it by drinking and doing drugs and being the strong sister and having fun, as to where my sister went years of therapy and she's doing great. But she is. I went the wrong way. But so then I was mad at my mom for a very long time. I mean, 17 and a half years it took me to forgive her. And that's all because I became an addict myself. So I relapsed in January of this year, and this might sound weird, but I'm so happy I did, because that fucking broke me. I needed the final break. And it wasn't until, it was February 4th, I called my dad and I said, "I need help. I can't do this anymore. I absolutely cannot do this anymore. I can't live like this. I have 3 kids. What am I doing?" And so he said, okay, let me talk to your mom and sister. I have a stepmom who's been in my life probably, or has been a real mom to me longer than my real mom was. She's great. He said, let me talk to them. I'll call you right back. And I was like, all right. Well, I ended up passing out. And then finally they got a hold of me at like 10 o'clock at night. And my dad said, pack your shit and Uber will be there in 20 minutes. So my ass went to detox. I packed 12 pairs of socks and 2 pairs of shoes. That's about it. When I got sober, I was like, what was I doing? But,
very 6 songs.
I guess I need my feet to be warm. It's cold outside. So I went to detox for 10 days in Texas. My parents picked me up the morning I got out, like at the door, and flew me back to California and took me to the lakes in Copperopolis. Okay. So it wasn't until I went to the lakes that I started working on my childhood trauma. It was one of the roughest things I have ever had to do. But it took that, and it took me breaking to forgive myself for everything that I had done. And that's what it took to finally forgive my mom. That forgiving my mom was finally like what I needed after all those years of just being angry. I was angry for so long. And I just celebrated, well, not celebrated, but I mean, June 1st was 18 years of her being gone. So she's been gone half my life. Not celebrating. Not celebrating. And this was the first year since she died that I felt that I actually grieved. Like, I woke up that morning and just cried my eyes out. Like, I had never grieved the death of my mom after all those years. But I'm happy that I finally was able to forgive her. I was able to forgive myself. But it took a lot to get there. But I'm glad I picked up that drinks and it got messed up, because if I had it, I might not have broken. But I needed that. And so now I'm here.
Stevie finally grieved and forgave your mom. How did that feel for you?
It felt like the biggest weight lifted off my back.
Yeah.
Like, not even off my chest, off my back. Like, I had just been carrying it around for years.
And that's when you were able to just let go.
Yeah, and really,
mourn and grieve and just
yeah,
let go.
yeah. And I had never done that.
Because you were angry the whole time.
Yeah, I was so angry, and just held on to that anger. I'm like, how could someone be angry for so long? But I was.
So when you were drinking, you were using that alcohol to just push it under the doormat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, push that anger, push that forgiveness.
Numb all the feelings.
Yeah, numb all the feelings.
Yeah.
As we do.
Yeah.
So relapsing in January, looking back on that now, it was a gift, right?
It was a gift from God, absolutely. And everything that's happened since then has been, like, I didn't think I was going to be in California in June. I was living in Texas with my 3 daughters and my ex. Like, I thought, oh. And to see where I'm at now and what I've worked through is just, it's almost unbelievable. But the better I've done, the better things have gone. Like, things just fall into place.
Those little breadcrumbs.
Yeah. Yeah, those little breadcrumbs.
Those little breadcrumbs. Just keep picking them up.
I love that analogy.
Keep following God's path, and got me a long way.
So we've been working on fruit of the Spirit, and I see yourself growing a lot in your sobriety. Do you find yourself growing in any of the things that we've talked about, kindness, love, forgiveness, any of that?
Yeah.
Is it easy, or are you like want it right now?
It's not easy.
Right.
Patience has been my hardest one.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of patience. Forgiveness has been a big one. Just forgiving myself, like forgiving my mom.
Yeah.
But I would say patience is the biggest one. Just being patient and trusting God with where things are at in my life. Like not having custody of my kids, like that's, I'm being patient about it.
Yeah.
But I can only be so patient. But it's really helped coming here and